Good evening, everyone. The question that I posed for this research topic is, how did the Soviet Union influence Fred Koch in his business model? So surely enough, I entitled my research paper, Stalin Needs a Koch, K-O-C-H. In this, I posit that there's a symbiotic relationship between the USSR and Winkler Koch Company, later ultimately Koch Industries. There's a plethora of research on how the Soviet Union became to rely so heavily on this free market innovation of Fred Koch's. It is significant to understand benefits of innovation and how it creates and adds value in a society. While Fred Koch's impact in the Soviet Union was just a drop in a bucket of water, ultimately his legacy lived on through Koch Industries as well as his son, that added significant value worldwide, if not created it. The research began with a small, unpublished work by Fred Koch himself entitled A Businessman Looks at Communism. From there, I began looking at other primary sources of his son. I listened to various interviews from him in which he talked much about his experience, his father's experience, and how that impacted his own principles and what he sees as value in his company. Other sources included Soviet newspapers, but most significantly, I had to fill in the gaps where they were within my research to understand Fred Koch's experience in the Soviet Union and what went along in that same period. I found significant pieces of research as I was going through this. I found that the Soviet Union primarily utilized these refineries inefficiently. Logistics were extremely poor, getting the oil from these refineries that Winkler Koch set up to various cities such as St. Petersburg. The Germans targeted these facilities in World War II. Winkler Koch set up a few refineries in Baku, Azerbaijan, but back then it was controlled by the Soviet Union. And that made up the majority of the oil in the Soviet Union. They also established a refinery in Grozny, and in Grozny, all the refineries there made up about 10% of all Soviet oil. And these were actual targets for Adolf Hitler, in which he told his generals to go and take those positions, destroy them, or capture them. Furthermore, it led Fred Koch to instill free market principles in his son, Charles Koch, after witnessing the atrocities of the Soviet Union. He prided himself on being a principled entrepreneur, and Charles Koch took on that legacy by breaking down barriers in society and adding value to that society. And finally, the Koch brothers are not who the media portrays. Thank you. I look forward to listening to all of your presentations as well.